What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Della.
What's up?
And my brother Derek.
What's up?
This week, we're talking about Misery. No, not that dreaded feeling that you feel for staying in the house all winter. It's Stephen King's movie, Misery.
What's wrong with you?
Or based off of Stephen King's book.
Yeah.
So this is a 1990 movie, meaning it's almost as old as I am.
I felt like the movie was much older than 1990. Did y'all get that feel?
Well,
No,
No.
I mean, if we think of arachnophobia, I feel like it's around the same.
I think you're thinking because the cars were so old.
Maybe that's what it was.
Because-
but I mean, it makes sense if
If you're-
it's 1990 and they drive in like a 1984 Buick.
So the Jeep she was driving was from '74.
Okay.
The sheriff was driving an old truck too,
Okay.
and obviously he had a '65 Mustang, I think.
Yeah. Well, and then if you think 1990 style is still 80s,
True enough.
you know,
It's very square.
so
A
yeah.
lot of squares and boxes in the '90s.
Yeah.
But yes, Misery, which is my first time watching. It's about a writer who gets kidnapped. Basically, that's the simple part. Of
By
it.
his number one
His
fan.
number one fan. Yes.
Yes.
Reminds me of the Genuine.
Oh, well, he was not
Number
looking for
one
his
fan.
number one fan.
He was not looking for his number one fan. She was looking for him.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had his schedule.
Well, she was like,
To
"Oh,
the
I know you
T.
go to the lab sometime. I just watch you with the light on." I'm like, "Whoa, bruh.
Yo,
bruh."
every time she opened, I'm like, this chick is crazy.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes.
I'm like, man.
I thought Fatal Attraction was crazy.
Yeah. So he's writing the last book in the series. You know, is it a romance series? I don't
It's
know.
a romance novel. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Romance novel, and everybody loves it. He's ending the series.
And the main character was named Misery.
which is why this is called Misery.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's trying to complete it. He finally did, and on his way back, it's a blizzard,
Mhm.
and he crashes his car. My thing was, why were you still driving so fast?
Thank you. Thank
like,
you.
what-
That was my biggest
That
complaint.
was your.
Yes.
I'm like, he's like leaning up to try and see
Leaning
through the
up.
window because there's so much snow, and yet he's still going so. Look, as a person that lives in the Midwest with a lot of snow,
Yeah. Just slow down.
we slow down.
Well, what I didn't get, and I was thinking, like, you're right, because I was like, he's driving really fast for this blizzard that he's in.
Yeah.
It's like, you're from New York. You know what snow is.
Right.
Yeah,
That was what I was confused
And,
about.
like, you're in a Mustang.
Yes.
That car is not made for weather.
why is he in a Mustang right now?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, because remember, it was like, as being a writer, he was superstitious.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
he did things the exact same way. He drove that particular car when he
Yo.
goes up there to write.
But my Mustang, I will not be driving in the winter because I don't want to be stuck.
That's true.
Yes,
look,
but
when
he
I
had
had-
to do things the same way every time.
I had my tiny little Chevy Cruze, and guess what? I was rolling past people and they Dodge Chargers and stuff while they were stuck in the road. Yeah, it had more power, but it could
Yeah.
not get through the snow. And I was
Yeah.
just rolling by my little
Look,
Cruze. So yes,
Someone with a car, like, yeah, certain cars are not made for the snow.
Mhm,
True enough.
mhm.
And I
Or
hate
heavy
it.
rains.
Or
heavy
heavy
rain.
rains.
that rear wheel
Or
drive. You gotta
heavy
not have
rains.
that rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Look,
Yeah.
it's better that way, except for when the weather
it's
happens.
better.
Yeah, yeah. If
Yeah,
you lived
dry
in Texas,
weather.
Arizona, Miami, because not all parts of Florida.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, but you know, I look, I know my car, and if it's going to be snowing, I'm just not. You're like, yo, come pick me up.
Mhm.
So you know, but the guy is from the East Coast. He is
Mhm.
not unfamiliar with snow.
Yeah.
True.
So you're driving this sports car in the snow, and we talking about Colorado snow too.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like,
And
what are
then
you doing?
like whipping around the curves along
Definitely
the
not in
edges.
snow.
It's definitely not a snow. I do not like curvy roads. That's why I hate driving in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Cause they be driving around me. I'm like, look, I don't care. I'm driving like an old lady. I don't know these curves.
Have you driven in West Virginia?
No.
Dude, you will be like on like the side of a hill.
Nah, see, I don't like it. I did
That
that.
in Tennessee.
I did that once. It's just like this little guardrail, and then you just like escort. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this at all.
What cracks me up about Tennessee, they also have signs that says "Watch for falling rocks," and I'm just like,
Arizona.
so
like
I'm
that.
just like, well, if it does,
Then what?
Then what?
what?
Yeah, Arizona's like that, like driving to the Grand Canyon, and I'm like, okay, I'm watching it, but I mean, if a
it
rock
start
falls off
falling.
this mountain, then what?
Me and a rock is going over. But yeah, Tennessee has those signs too.
Yeah, I
just-
appreciate our nice flat
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ground
Yeah,
here.
and our hills go up and down. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
not
everybody
side to side, or
hills
it's
is
just like-
left and right.
Yeah.
If I'm turning, I don't really see what's in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, because he was driving like an idiot in a car he shouldn't have been in the wintertime,
Mhm.
he flipped over, which in what was it, 60 something? Yeah, he
Yeah.
flipped.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. hmm
he flipped over
The
and
snow definitely
crashed.
cushioned his crash though.
Crash didn't look that bad, but did he have a seatbelt on? Also,
I don't
old
know.
car, so
It's an old car. So
Yeah.
it's a solid car.
Yeah. But I felt like the snow cushioned it though.
Could be. I mean, it's not like
Because-
he walked away from this crash.
No,
so-
he didn't. He didn't. But I feel like if it was let's say like a regular rainy day,
Mhm.
I don't think he lives that crash.
It's hard
No,
to say
no,
because people
no,
survive crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I think
I
if
was
this
just
was
thinking
modern
more so.
day,
I
he
was just
would've-
thinking
wouldn't
more
have
so
been
of
as
like the
injured.
trees and the rocks.
I don't know. I mean, going off a cliff, I think you're gonna be super injured regardless of what kind of car.
I would have
Yes.
his legs broken.
You don't
Or
think?
whatever,
I don't know. There's no airbags for your
Mm-mm.
legs.
They didn't have no airbags.
I said
Oh right,
modern
you're
day.
right, and there is no airbags
Yeah,
for
there's
your
no
legs.
airbags for your legs.
And he broke both his legs
I don't know. Okay.
and separated his shoulder.
So okay, she was following him. Like, was she like following behind him in the car or something? Because she immediately came up there with that crowbar.
I mean, that's what it made it seem like. And I was
Yeah.
following you, and I'm like, we just gonna tell this dude you stalk him for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, so every year she followed him until she got to her house, and then just let him go.
I think she followed him all the way. I don't. Yeah. Like, how far did
I-
she
I-
take this? Because he.
I want to say I think so, since he was driving like toward that direction.
Oh yeah, maybe. I guess I don't know. Who knows how far she took?
She
it.
had a schedule down packed. So
So yes, so then we
The
meet
first paparazzi.
Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes.
She saves him from the car,
Mm-hmm.
carries him on her shoulders. I'm
That man,
okay.
that's a
She-
nitpick.
You don't think she could do it?
She couldn't do it any other times during the movie. She could barely get him in the bed
But
and everything.
remember-
and
She
he's
got
dead
him up
weight.
on her shoulders.
he's
That's the
un-
easiest way to carry anyone.
Yeah, she fireman carried him, which is the best way to do it.
Yes.
And he's unconscious too.
Yeah. So
Yes.
his weight's going across like both her legs and stuff. Like
I
don't think
Is
it's
she that
impossible.
strong?
yeah, she seems.
Yeah, it's not a small girl.
She's not. But
She seems strong to me.
Yeah. Which,
okay.
I mean, honestly, one of the reasons why they chose her, because, you know, they brought up like other
Mhm.
actresses and they were just, you know, but it's just like, we can't have someone scrawny in this,
Okay,
right?
yeah, like it
Yeah.
couldn't be Gwyneth Paltrow, and then
Right.
then I would be like, okay, no.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Alright.
mean, I buy
I mean,
it.
that was a nitpick for me, but
And then she was a nurse too, so she's probably used to lifting
Yeah.
people bigger
Yeah.
than her.
I forgot about that aspect of it.
Yeah.
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 And then you never know. I mean, people can be strong.
Also, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so she carries him back to the house and nurses him back to health,
Mm-hmm.
which all right, so she lies to him and says like the roads are closed and the phones are down.
Right.
Mhm.
But she keeps leaving the house.
She did. She did.
The
keep
roads are closed. I'll be right back.
So his initial kind of acceptance of it, I'm kind of okay with, because it's like, what are you gonna do? You wake up here,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, I couldn't take. Because I'm glad he did ask, like, why
Yeah.
I'm not in the hospital.
Yeah, initially I can see him. Okay, I buy that, right? Because he did just
And
crash
initially,
in a blizzard.
it was really snowing real bad.
Yeah.
It's a small town. I do believe initially the roads were closed.
Yeah, but that takes 2 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, he did was just like, I mean, well, you went into town.
Yeah, but the road to the hospital is closed.
Yes.
Yeah, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they wouldn't clear that out first. You
Right.
know? That wouldn't be a priority. Oh man. So yeah. So she lies to him. She's drugging him up, and now she's trying to, I guess, talk to him about his book series, Misery.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how she read every book more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because she's his biggest fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
She said that plenty of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's she read his books numerous times. Then she asked if I can read the new book that he wrote, which is why he was in Colorado in the first place. And she was not a fan of his new book.
Okay, so first she comes in talking about the swearing, and she loses her mind.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my goodness! If you didn't know anything was wrong, now you do.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the first indication, like, this lady, because she had that soup in her hand, and
Spilled
she's
soup
just
all
like,
over the blanket.
she's like, this effing this and this bastardly this, and I was just like, bruh, if you could run.
Yes. We don't use language like this.
And he was like, well, they're from the slums, or blah blah blah. No. I'm like, and he was like, you see what you made me do? I'm like, ooh. Yeah, man, bro, you gotta try and get out, but he can't because his legs are broken.
Because his legs are
Yes.
broken. They were very gross looking.
They
Yeah, it
were
looked messed up.
purple, blue, and black.
Purple, blue, and black. They were swollen, lumpy mess.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man.
And she was right. They have to set.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, honestly, what I like about this movie is just that there was no scene in here where I was felt like, you watch these movies and you're like, you're being stupid or
Mhm.
whatever. This is just, he couldn't go anywhere.
No. And he tried.
And he tried.
Like the very first time, he
Yeah.
just passed out in pain.
Yeah.
And she walks in. Like, what you doing on the floor, silly?
Yeah, because he was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
He
I mean,
tried.
like, yeah, broken
my
legs
thing
and
was
all.
like, but what are we gonna do?
Drag across the snow, I
Drag.
guess.
Yeah.
Die.
And die.
Yeah, he'd have been dead. But
frostbitten and everything.
but I don't know. He's just like, this lady's crazy.
Yeah, I
I'm
need to get
gonna
out.
take my broken legs, but his legs was still super, super broken then. Fell out
Yeah.
the bed, just like,
Yeah. Well, he did try the door, and the door was locked. And that's when he passed out.
He wasn't about to make it too much further.
No, he was not. Yeah, that was like within the first few days.
Yes.
And see, that's why you don't go to small towns. See, they talk about me,
No
And my wife
Airbnbs
and
to the
stuff.
cabins.
talk about
no.
me for not liking the country or whatever. I'm not a country person. I'm like, when it's long, I'm driving and there's a bunch of long fields and there's nothing there. Yeah, it's weird. And you know what? If I get in trouble, there's no one for me to call or talk to, whatever. At least in the city, I can run into
Mhm.
something.
I absolutely agree. I am not about small towns. I don't want to be 40 minutes away from nothing. Absolutely not. I want someone to hear me scream.
See, if I get
Mhm.
kidnapped out here, if I escape, I can go to the neighbor's door, which is 5 feet across the way.
True.
True indeed.
True.
Yeah. So yeah. Whew,
So she
okay.
didn't like the book.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
So she finally finishes the book, and he's tired of writing this, so he kills off his main character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lovely. I actually like when authors do that. It's
It's
like,
nice.
yeah,
Especially if it has a
you make
complete
people
ending.
like a character, and then you just kill them.
I mean, it was like you're disappointed, but then especially if the book has a complete ending, then it's
Yeah.
like it's kind of like bittersweet.
Mhm.
Which it sounds like this Misery ending is exactly how her character should have gone.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Well, he had her die during childbirth or something
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving childbirth.
that. Yeah.
And she didn't like that either. So not only did she
Murdered
not
her!
like the swearing.
well, the swearing was for his new book,
Oh, his new book, right?
Yeah. the Untitled book.
Yes. Right. That she made him burn.
Yes. Because she didn't like Misery, so she made him burn his new book so he can have a clear mind to write a new Misery story.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. He had to undo.
Yeah. But dude, that scene when he's basically like, I'm about to burn my book.
Yeah.
And so then she's just
She
talking.
started putting
Yeah,
the fluid on his. I'm like, when I was watching, I literally audibly was like, you're putting lighter fluid on. Like, bro, she about to burn my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, throughout watching this movie, there was a lot of me audibly going, no, and yo.
Yeah. And then, so of course, the pages is on fire. So it's like, you get the flickering. And
Oh,
she's
my
just
God.
like, oh, heavens to Betsy. Oh.
And I'm like, put the top on the grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Just put the top on the grill.
Yeah.
She's like, oh. And she's like slapping at the fire.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
lady, you're going to kill yourself.
It was paper. You could have just had him light it on fire.
I
You
was
didn't
thinking
need
that
the
too.
accelerant.
She did not
No.
need the lighter fluid. But
No.
maybe she ain't as crazy as she seems. She knows he's not going to want to burn his book. It's the
Yeah.
only copy. She knows it's his only copy. She even
Right,
says so.
because he tried to say
Right.
that
So,
it's fine.
right. So she knows he's going to refuse. But if I got
that's
this-
so you could put the lighter fluid on his bed.
Exactly.
Threaten to burn him. Also,
Exactly.
I was like, why are you still giving him the match to have
I
him
was
light?
thinking
I'm
the
like,
same
Yes.
he's going to go up in flames.
Oh,
That's what I was
the same
thinking.
thing.
I was like, if he don't handle this match correctly, he's going up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. How long am I into this movie? Because when it first started, and I kind of knew the premise, I was like, how are we going to have a 2-hour movie of this? I don't know. And then I'm like, oh my gosh. Get out. Get out of here.
Like this movie doesn't waste any time,
Yeah.
It doesn't.
which I like.
doesn't.
Some
Yeah, I
movies
like it too.
spend 20
Yeah.
minutes on his life and him
Yeah.
kissing his wife goodbye and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
It opens.
Mhm.
I finish the book. I'm in my car. I crash. That's like the first
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's on the phone with the publishers
Yeah.
saying, like, it's complete. I can bring it to you. And it's just like, yes, we talked to the people. They're ready for it. As soon as you get it here, we get it into printing. And it was like, you sure you don't want to proofread it? It was like, no, we know you got good work, whatever. And then this is like, boom. Next scene, he's in the car driving, as we stated, crazy in the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Crash. She picks him up. He wakes up 2 days later.
Waste no time. I like a movie like that.
Yeah. I do appreciate the police chief and
Mhm.
actually
Yeah.
how diligent he was.
Mhm.
You don't always get that with him, but he was actually diligent. He's in a small town. He really didn't have to be.
Yeah, that was in my notes also, that usually small time cops are portrayed as stupid or lazy.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, it did start out because he was just like, well, ma'am, like, it was a snowstorm. He's probably
well,
stuck somewhere.
yeah, but he did follow up. I
Yeah,
mean,
he did follow up.
his filing system may
Oh,
seem
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he's not about to
He
do
was
anything.
like, yeah. We'll put this
We'll put it
away
in our
right
system.
now in our system.
And, put some
And it was
sticky
a
note.
sticky note.
But he did immediately follow up, which I was
Yeah.
like, okay. So they were still laid back or whatever, but he did do a good due diligence to try to find this
Yeah.
guy.
And then when it was just like, okay, it's been days now when no one have seen him, and this was the last place.
Yeah.
He even took it a step further because it was like
Ah,
they
man.
broke out the helicopter,
Mm-hmm.
searching.
No, when he stumbled upon where he crashed, but it
Yeah.
was covered in snow, like the car was covered in snow. I'm like,
yeah.
oh man.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I
so
felt that
close.
too.
Yeah.
I felt that too.
Yeah. Just like, oh, just walk another 5 feet and you'll be there.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's like when you're expecting something to be like right there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, if you just look a little bit over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, too much snow.
Yeah. So he had to start writing his new book
Yeah.
to bring Misery back.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Okay,
she's
so
upset
but
that
she
she's
said she
dead.
didn't like the serials where it would come back and it would be
Because it didn't make sense.
the way
because
the way
yeah,
he brought her
because
back.
they cheated to bring the guy back.
Yeah.
So I guess his first draft was a cheat, and she's like, "That's not how the story ended. You got to pick up from the end and find a way to bring her back from that."
Yes.
he's like, well, I killed her. So,
Yeah, she died.
yeah.
She dead.
Yeah.
Well, he found a way to resurrect her, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he was smart with the paper.
Yes.
She was like, it's the most expensive one. And I was like, see, that's where you're wrong. Just because the most expensive don't mean that it's the best.
Yeah.
Ha,
Mhm.
joke's on you. It's
Yeah.
smudges. But, yeah. So he got out of the room twice.
Mm-hmm.
First time, he kind of explores the house.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, he did go to the phone.
Yeah. And the
Oh, my
phone
goodness.
was just a shell.
It was
Like,
just a shell.
why?
Yeah, why do you even have it there?
Like, why? Why would you take the phone apart? I really felt like she did that for him. Like, ha ha, joke's on you.
Yeah.
Did she kill her husband?
I think she
I
definitely
think she
killed her
did.
husband. I saw that article and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, she definitely killed her husband.
Because she kept on saying that he was too demanding, and always was like, basically things wasn't right. Like no matter what she did, things wasn't right,
Ooh, okay.
which could have been in her head.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I believe you. Yeah, so so he finds the pills, which he tries to drug her with, and we'll get to that.
Mhm.
But he gets himself back into the room before she gets home, which
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
man,
But he's all sweaty because he had to hurry up and get back to the room, and he's in pain because both his legs are broken. So it was just like rushing to get back in the room before she gets
we had to lock
in the
door
house. I
down.
had to lock the door back. It was like, yeah. So like, you're dripping with sweat.
Oh man, what kills me? She's like, I do all this stuff for you. I take care of you and I
Yeah.
feed you, and no appreciation. I'm like, it don't count if you've kidnapped the person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because when he goes to ask her to get more stuff, and she's like, "Is there anything else she would need?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, "You being real sarcastic right now."
I'm like, excuse me, am I not the kidnappee?
Yeah.
I gotta say, Kathy Bates in this role
Mm-hmm.
just absolutely killed it. Just Annie's many different moods
Mhm.
in this, and
Yeah.
just
And like seeing her in different stuff.
Yeah.
Before seeing this movie, it was just like, oh wow, okay.
yeah,
Like she has a lot of range.
she does. Yeah, she won an Oscar for this, and well deserved.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Fair enough.
Yeah.
Second time he gets out, he gets a knife, which is what I said to get in the first time he got out.
But
I
I
was like, go
was
to the
like-
kitchen, get a knife.
Don't get the biggest one; she's gonna notice it.
True.
Doesn't matter when she notices it. What she do? She come to you and then you stab her with the knife.
Well, she was prepared.
She was definitely prepared
No,
because she
found
waited
it.
till he fell asleep,
Oh,
See, you get a little
and
knife
then when he woke up, she had him strapped to the bed
and took the knife.
and took the knife. So
Should've
when
left
he
it in his arm thingy, and then she would have to touch him. You wake up, just like that.
Because she was like, I knew you were getting out. I just couldn't figure out how.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because also, we go to what you was about to mention earlier. When he stole the extra pills, he was going to drug her.
Yeah.
And they had the dinner, and he put it in her wine glass, and she knocked the glass
The
over.
Dom Perignon.
The Dom Perignon. Yeah.
Oh,
But I
that was
felt him,
upsetting,
though.
man. When he poured it, first of all, I was like, you need to mix that up more, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm like,
pretty
we
sure
better
it
stick
did
your
not
finger
dissolve.
in
It
there.
did not dissolve.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she knocked it over. I was like, oh my god.
yeah. I felt the look on his face. I was just like, I feel you, dude.
So there's a question on the internet on whether or not she did that intentionally.
I don't think so.
Do you think she spilled the wine intentionally? No?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No?
No. I think she's just that clumsy and absent-minded.
Okay.
And what makes me think that is when she was hurrying back with the paper, she dropped the paper going up the stairs.
Okay.
You think otherwise?
Well, I would just like the theory is that so in the scene where he's pouring the pills into the package, there's a view for looking at him straight on where you can see him like in the bed straight on.
Uh-huh.
So people are saying, because I think in the book, she's like looking at him through the keyhole. That is her point of view to him.
Oh. See, I didn't read the book, so.
So they're
Okay.
saying is that she sees he's doing something.
Okay.
And since he was so insistent on having wine and blah, 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 that she spilled the
Knocked it
wine
over.
intentionally.
Ugh, still,
Mm.
either way, upsetting.
Oh, yeah.
It is-
Oh,
it
yeah. He was
was.
super. Although my thing is, and then what?
That's true, because he still couldn't walk out of there.
I don't know, man. Still the truck.
He can't drive.
He can't drive. Both
Drive
his
your
legs,
best.
Both his
Your
legs,
are broken. He's going to make it.
Both his legs are broken. Did you see how hard it was for him to get back in the room before she got in the house? He's not driving.
He's not
Okay,
driving.
all right. So she's drugged. Then we do a little slitty slit, right?
Okay.
So she can't wake up again.
yes.
How does it get
And
help?
you
There's
go
no
to the
phone.
truck and you land it on that horn and
She-
keep on.
It's in
Remember,
the
we
middle
talked
of
about
nowhere.
small town, little nowhere.
I
I mean, look. I'm not saying don't
Yeah.
do it because
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm like, okay, he escapes her, he kills her.
Then he dies in the
He
element.
dies because that's what I kept on saying to myself. I kept on saying, no matter what he does, he's going to die.
live in the house until someone.
Because no one knew where he was. They were still looking for him.
Yeah.
And the sheriff didn't put the clues together yet. Like, he was still trying to put clues together.
By the time the sheriff figures it out, he's
He's
probably
dead
dead.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't make it out of there alive.
No.
Not at that point.
Man, don't go. See, I'm not going to nowhere towns at all.
Yeah, so that plan didn't work. So he decided to work on the book. Meanwhile, while he's working on the book, he's practicing lifting the typewriter over his head. So his arm would be strong enough.
Yeah, because his shoulder was
'Cause his
dislocated.
shoulder-
I mean, it
was
makes
dislocated,
sense, right? You got to
yeah.
practice that move because you got to time it right.
You do.
Which he did.
Yes.
And those old typewriters were heavy.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yes.
All right.
Good plan.
So he finally, well, the police chief finally figures out it's her because she's quoting stuff from the book, and I don't know. I guess due diligence on the police chief. He started reading the books to
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm.
figure it out, and since she was quoting it, it kind of put two and two together. Like,
Mhm.
okay, she's a fan of this book.
Right.
The
Well,
author's
what-
missing. You know,
Right. And
what
it's obvious.
also made him like a light bulb or like maybe question when he wanted to start reading this man's books to figure out like, okay, who is this guy?
Mhm.
He asked the book owner and he was just like, oh man, we sell all of those books all the time. And he was just
yeah,
like,
and she
who buys
reserves.
them?
She
And
reserves.
he was
And
like,
she
she
reserves the first
reserves them
copy.
the first copy.
Yeah.
And then she buys all the copies.
Right. So now she's quoting this
Yeah.
guy in her court cases.
Yeah.
She buys all of the books. The minute it hits the shelf, right, it's
Yeah.
obviously the guy has been pried out of his own car.
Right.
So it's just like,
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
And I was
Yes.
like, how did? And I guess the other police didn't really want to give. They're like, oh, he's dead. And I'm like, you can clearly see he did not get out on his own. Like it's clear.
The
on
door
the car.
would still been open if he got out on his own.
exactly. And then,
Yes.
like, pry marks are pry
Yeah.
marks. You can
Yeah.
see
You
the
can see
door
that it
has
was
been
pried
pried
from the
open.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were lazy. That's all.
It's a
Them.
small town.
But this is the state police. You're the people that's supposed to help the small
you are
town.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
And they're just like, snow, dead animals.
Yeah. Animal killed him.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the police chief was right. He was like, he might be dead. Yeah, but
He
Yeah.
wasn't killed by an
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah.
And he didn't die by the car.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
he
like
just
he
like
wasn't
he didn't.
alone.
Yeah, he didn't get out this car by himself.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna figure out. Someone took him out of here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if that's the case,
Because
why?
it's always the thing of, okay, at this point, we have to give the family closure.
yeah. And then I guess it's like someone took him out of here, and if they did, why wasn't
Exactly.
he at a hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Because
didn't.
that was his first question.
Yeah, you didn't call it in. You didn't take him to the hospital. So what did you do with him? So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So, so police chief figures it out. Oh yeah, and also the shop guy told him that she was buying paper,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Which-
yeah, recently.
which is like okay,
Yeah.
you know,
Small town. Like she never buys paper before, but now she's buying paper
Mhm.
and stuff. And the guy's just like, I should at least talk to her because she's a crazy lady.
Yeah.
Yes. Which from her articles, where she was killing babies.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
How is she not in prison?
Oh my goodness, I know. We'll talk about this later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
the
it was like-
articles was like, baby killer back.
Right.
What do you mean? Did she get back
Right.
into a
It's like
hospital?
move to another hospital and baby start mysteriously dying here. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We're putting two and two together.
So, he does go into the house. She runs in and drugs my dude and throws him down into the basement.
I really thought she was about to dump him out of the wheelchair.
Yeah, I did.
I was
too.
like, oh man, that's gonna be dirty. But she
Yeah,
actually
I
took him
thought it was gonna
downstairs.
be, Tyler Perry moment. Flip the wheelchair
Like,
over.
what? I was like, oh, okay. She didn't do that. That's messed up.
And so got him down in the basement. And I guess just to hide everything from the police chief, which she kind of did until he started making noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm
And
like,
he made noise when the police chief was already outside.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know,
He
the
could
banging
be.
and everything. Because she also paralyzed him with something. So it was like he
Well, yeah, she
couldn't
tried-
freely
Yeah, whatever
yeah,
drugs he
yeah,
was
he
on.
couldn't freely move. So it was like only thing he could do, he was trying to get enough motion to tip over the grill so it can make noise. And eventually he did.
so at this point, since we were near the end of the movie, I was like, all right, so this is it. Jig is up. Police chief has found you. We good. We got him. Blah, blah, blah. Roll credits. Cool.
Mm.
Nope. He opens the door, finds him. He's like, Mr. Sheldon or whatever. Was it Sheldon?
If Sheldon, yeah.
Mr. Sheldon. And then boom, like he gets shotgun blasted through the
Yes.
chest. I was like, oh no. What?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Through the back, came out
Just-
through the chest.
Did not see that coming.
I
Yeah.
didn't either.
And I was like, you did not have to do my boy Buster like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he was just such a nice old man. Him and
Yeah.
his wife were like super cute together.
Yeah.
And she just shot this dude in the back.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
And then like, I'm gonna kill us both. It's a. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
bro, yo. He was smart on that. Like, no, we
Mhm.
have to finish the book because then you can know and stuff.
Mhm.
he used her crazy against her.
Right.
Also at the end, so yeah, he convinced her not to shoot them both.
Mhm.
Because he needs to finish the book so she can see it.
Mhm.
And he finishes it, and then holds it hostage by like, oh, I'm gonna burn it, and then like sets it on fire
Yeah.
Mhm.
because of her crazy. So that gets her close enough for him to hit her with the typewriter.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that was smart. I was trying to figure out what he was gonna do. I was like, are you gonna do like a Molotov cocktail or something? Stick the paper in the bottle and then like catch her on fire? I
Mhm.
mean, hey,
That would work.
no, it wouldn't. She like dumb strong. I don't know.
She would have caught it and threw it back at him.
So he probably had a better plan. I would have died. Whatever. Yeah. So this is how he finally gets one over on her, and so like they're tussling on the
Tussling.
ground and
Mhm.
stuff, and so he trips her eventually, and she lands with her head on the typewriter. Which I don't know how she didn't die from that.
In the book, she does, but not right away.
Okay.
In the book, she hits her head on the typewriter, and then she leaves the house to get a chainsaw. But then her brain injury, ends up killing her in the garage.
Okay. All right. I was gonna ask. I was like, in this book, he doesn't make it out, does he? Because
No.
it's Stephen King.
He
And
does.
I know how Stephen King is. I remember Cujo. The kid died.
He did.
He did.
He did.
No, he does. I will tell you guys the differences in the book when we get to that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So she gets up
One last attack.
because he's crawling out because his
Again.
legs are broken, and so she gets on top of him, try to pull. He's fighting for the trophy from the fair of the pig.
Yeah.
And he hits her in the head with that, and that's what kills her, right?
Yeah,
She
that's
don't
what
get
kills
up
her.
again.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what kills her.
And I'm guessing he was found that time because they would have been looking for.
Because
For
they
the
would
sheriff.
have been looking for the sheriff.
Yeah.
So at the most, he'll spend another day
A day,
there.
probably.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they probably went
Because the
helicopter and
wife,
saw the
well, it might not
truck.
even been a day because the wife would have been like, "Okay, my husband,
Right?
ain't came
Yeah.
back home."
Right. He
Did
didn't
he
come
tell
back.
his wife where he was going?
He didn't, but remember he talked to the shopkeeper first.
Yeah.
So
And his wife is his deputy.
Yeah.
yeah. So he talked to the shopkeeper first. They probably would have strolled by her house, seen his truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, they had that
she probably
helicopter.
because the wife probably would have been like, "Hey, this is the last place my husband went to," and he'd be like, "Yeah, he asked me about this lady that lives up,"
Yeah.
and then they would have went to.
Yeah. Them looking for him is what saved Sheldon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, watching this as I was thinking it through, I didn't find anything where he was just being dumb. So that's great.
Oh, we didn't talk about when she found out that he was leaving the room to prevent him from leaving.
How
the
could we
room.
not talk about that?
oh,
Oh my
no.
goodness, you're absolutely correct.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I saw. Okay, so she starts putting that block in between his feet, and I'm like, no, you're not. Right? We're not. What are we doing here? What are we doing? And then she takes this sledgehammer. I'm like, oh my god. Oh,
To
no.
his ankle.
Oh, and they
showed it.
wrap around her thing.
Yes.
Oh god.
They only showed the one foot, but that was enough.
Yeah.
That was enough. And she was like, "I have to make sure that you won't try to leave again."
Yeah. Yeah. So like, I don't believe we talked about the knife, but not the scene that happened afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah. She's like, you left your room twice, Paul.
I was trying to figure out how you were doing it.
I'm like, oh no,
Yes.
Paul, you should have never
She
fell
was
asleep.
like, the penguin always faces south.
And you know what I was thinking? I'm like, he didn't put that penguin back right.
No,
Yeah,
he didn't.
I mean, well, they focused on it on purpose.
I'm like,
But
bro. But she
never
didn't say
did
anything. Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
she made mention, was like, "I knew you got out the room. I couldn't figure out how you did it."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, my
Because when he woke up, he was strapped to that bed. He wasn't getting out again.
I don't know. She had like the world's biggest sledgehammer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
oh,
He
Paul.
don't have no feet, right? Like,
I mean, at the end,
No,
he
she
just,
put it in
I'm-
cast.
yeah, but
She-
I don't know,
yeah, she
man.
did, but
He just had that
I
cane.
mean, at the end of the movie, he was walking with a limp.
He need more. He need more than that. You got to. I mean, I don't know. Just a sledgehammer to the ankles. How do you rebuild your ankles after that?
Yeah. I feel like he didn't scream loud enough.
Probably not. I was thinking the same thing. Like, man, you really taking that?
Mm. But yeah.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I started to put the block down. I'm like, no, you take that block away now. What you're planning?
This movie got you talking to the TV.
Well, I didn't know she was gonna do it like that. I thought like she was gonna put his feet on top of it, but now she put it on the side and took a sledgehammer to it. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, to do it that way was for his feet to not move. So she hit it squared on.
Oh man, just thinking about it, just dude.
His foot folded over.
Just so messed up.
Like, oh my god.
I don't know. I just might have gave up. Like, all right.
Yeah,
I think that would have took my spirit too. But hey, he was determined.
He was a fighter.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So I
Alright.
don't think we missed any other big parts, did we? I know sometimes
I
we
don't
get to
think-
talking and we miss like
yeah,
important
yeah.
stuff, and it'd be afterwards. You're like, oh my god, we didn't bring this up. But I did want to ask, could this happen today?
Yes.
I think so too. I
Yeah.
think it would have to be different, but I still think yes.
yeah, people
Mhm.
still be looking for him.
It would be easier to figure out closer if they would find out sooner where he was last seen, right? GPS on the cell phone puts you in
Yeah, that's
a
what I was
certain
saying.
mile
Cell
radius. But Annie would probably be smart enough to
They
leave
probably
his
would've
cell phone
found the
behind.
car.
They would have found. I'm saying they would have found the car sooner, but I still don't think they would have found him sooner.
Because you got to think areas like that still don't have good cell service, if any.
Right. So I'm thinking you find the car faster. Annie is not the kind of person to have a cell phone,
Right.
so she will still be living how she's living. The lodge she was staying at will probably have cameras, so you can probably see exactly when he left.
Mm-hmm.
But in a rural town like that, I don't think anywhere else has cameras.
Right.
So I think you find the car quicker, but nothing else changes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because the thing is, sadly, people still go missing today.
Well, yeah.
We're getting kidnapped and
Well, I mean,
held hostage.
it was just some stuff in, I forget, Minnesota or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
People were getting kidnapped. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Difference is his story would have been written on a laptop
Yes.
and had been saved to the cloud, so she couldn't make him destroy
She
his
could make it destroy.
his book.
Yeah, the book still would have been released. Posthumously.
Maybe he was old school and he liked typing it on a typewriter.
It could be. I heard Tom
Could.
Hanks like typewriters.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. I kind of feel like Stephen King probably still used a typewriter.
he probably would.
Stephen King
Him
has
and
ghostwriters. Look,
James Patterson.
all of them. He got ghostwriters too.
No, James Patterson definitely has ghostwriters. I don't think Stephen King got ghostwriters.
Nah, but yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
No,
Because you
I
know
think
what, a
he has
lot
too
of
much passion
James
for his work.
Patterson books also have another author with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I think now Patterson writes very few of his books,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell.
Yeah, it's not
Fine.
the same writing style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So yeah,
So
it
yeah,
still
it still happens today.
I agree.
That's why DJ said he's not going to secluded rural areas
I agree.
in the middle of nowhere.
Traveling me. You know what I'm not doing? Staying somewhere by myself.
Yeah.
Not going to a lodge to write my book or whatever. No. We're good.
People do that a lot.
I
Yeah,
know.
they do.
You know what I could do? I could write my book at home.
It's different because you Ian Fleming was another person who traveled to write his
Yeah.
books.
It gets the creative juices flowing.
Sure.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I guess if you're thinking like The Shining, that backfired on that guy because that guy was also an author, wasn't he? In The Shining?
Maybe. Yeah. I think so.
I never seen.
I
The
think so. I don't
Shining
know.
In whole, only in parts.
Yeah, I only know the scary parts. I don't know why they ended up where they ended up.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready for a random movie facts?
Sure.
Yeah.
Random movie facts.
Okay, casting. I actually do not like none of these choices. I'm not sure if James Caan was like the best choice for it. You know, I think he did very good. But Jack Nicholson.
No. He too crazy. You can't be crazier than the crazy. Although he would have done good. He would.
But he just did The Shining too. I don't think like if he just did The Shining, I could not take him out of The Shining and then put him in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have had to been the other way around.
It'd have been too it'd have been too distracting, I think.
Yeah. He would have to been the crazy person.
Yeah. He would have to been Annie.
Yes.
Ooh.
No.
That's not bad. He'd have made a good
and
Annie.
His name
If
would have been Andy.
if the genders were reversed, I think he would have made a good Andy.
No.
Yeah, he would have.
No. Just leave it the same.
Okay. Robert De Niro. No, absolutely not.
I was like, I feel like
I
Robert
mean,
De Niro would
he
get out of
would
there
be
somehow.
I mean, he would have been really young in the movie, but
He would have found a way out, and he would have been dead. I don't know. I just. But I guess
that would have been an interesting.
That would have
choice.
been. It really, they really like looked at everyone.
Okay.
I got some more for you. Michael Douglas.
Hmm.
This would have been
Okay.
before Fatal Attraction or
Before
after
Fatal Attraction.
When did Fatal Attraction come out?
I think it's before.
I think 92.
So before
94.
Fatal Attraction, but after Basic Instinct.
I think Michael Douglas would have been fine.
Michael Douglas would have been fine.
That'd have been interesting. Now the number one choice was Warren Beatty,
Hmm.
but
I don't
he
like Warren Beatty.
he's cocky, and the reason why he didn't like the role is because Annie's the real star of this movie,
Yeah.
right?
He wanted to be the star.
And he didn't like it because basically, like, he's like, this guy's a loser.
Is he a loser? He couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
What
well,
do you mean he's a loser?
so that's why Betty backed out.
Okay,
Oh.
let's see you
So
get
it would
both
have
your
been
legs broken and see if you could get out of this situation, sir.
Right. So it would have been after Fatal Attraction, but before Basic Instinct.
Oh, I
Fatal
had it backwards.
Attraction
Okay.
was 87,
Oh,
and Basic Instinct was 92.
do I like Michael Douglas in this
I
role?
feel like it's not good for actors to repeatedly play the same roles. So I
Right.
felt like him being in Fatal Attraction and then in this movie would have kind of been the same.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
Yeah, you're right.
It would have been a good role for him, but I just like it would have ran into him playing like a similar role.
I mean, he definitely, like, Michael Douglas, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, like, The dude would have killed it, but you're right. That is basically the same thing. Okay, interesting. So that's all I had for casting. James Caan did not read the book. So he thought they were joking when they were just like, bro, you're in this bed like 90% of the time.
Oh, so he didn't know that part.
He did not know that. I'm like, did you read the script? I guess not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, read the script at least. That would tell
Right?
you.
Like, how was like that was surprising to you? I feel like that's the first part you should have got. But yeah, that surprised him. The legs were made out of gelatin,
Okay.
and there was like a little spot where Khan can have his real legs below, and then the fake legs there. So then they had it all wired up so that when she hit it with the sledgehammer, the ankles can turn the way they were supposed to.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So in the movie, he was only held captive for 4 weeks. Seems a lot longer.
It did seem like a lot longer.
It is a lot longer in the book, but in the movie
The
it was
snow
only
was
like
melting and all
it
that?
must have been like April, I guess,
Okay.
or March. I mean, it's not like it doesn't
Yeah.
snow in those months.
Okay.
And also in Colorado, it don't take long for snow to melt.
Also true, their weather is very unpredictable. It can snow and then be 70 degrees.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so some differences between the novel and the movie. We already brought up he was actually held captive for about 5-6 months in the book. The name of the untitled book was actually called Fast Cars.
Not
Oh,
a
in the
name.
book, it was called Fast
In the
Cars.
book, it was called
That's a
Fast
horrible
Cars. Yes. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
I
why
like
they
Untitled.
Let's leave it untitled.
leave it untitled. So the book actually had portions of the Misery novel in it. So you're like reading Misery's story. So there'll be chapters of that book in there.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually it was interesting. So after finding about Misery's death, where obviously in the movies like you killed my misery, good scene. She actually
You
leaves.
murdered her.
She actually leaves Paul for 2 days.
Oh.
She just doesn't come back.
When she gets mad.
When she gets mad, she leaves the house and was gone for 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So by this time, this guy is addicted to the Norville, which isn't really predicted in the movie. So he got addicted to the pain pills.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then she leaves for 2 days, no food, no water, no nothing. And then of course she comes back. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
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 Right. In the movie, it was portrayed that like she just left him alone
Yeah.
in the room.
That's how you
For the
get
day.
some Stockholm syndrome going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, she was gone for a while. She basically, and I think that's probably when he realized, like, yo, like I like kind of need her to come back. Yeah. So one thing we didn't talk about was that Stephen King actually said that Annie represented his addiction to drugs, and that it was kind of like it was his addiction that was holding him captive and preventing him from escaping or trying to kill him. And that is what Annie represented in the book.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, sledgehammer scene, right? Pretty girls. In the book, she cuts off his foot
She cuts it off.
with an axe, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about you gave up after the sledgehammer? No. If she cut my foot off, then I give up. Then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
My life is over.
I'm just gonna die
Yeah.
here, I guess.
Yeah, so she cut it off, but the director, Rob Reiner, I think, changed it to the sledgehammer. The screenwriter was actually disappointed because he's like, I only signed up because of that scene in the book, and then you changed it.
Okay.
But afterwards, he thought it was better to change it because he's like, if Annie cuts off his foot, the audience hates her now. Because through this whole movie, like, she's crazy, but I don't dislike her.
What do you mean? I do.
You
Who
really?
did dislike
I
me?
don't dislike her.
I did.
I did.
I did.
Oh, okay.
100%.
I did.
Okay, so if they had kept that scene original, your emotions about her doesn't change.
No, maybe I hate her more.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair
But
enough.
I don't know. I mean, I hated her a lot for breaking it. Actually, you know what? Probably hurt less for you to cut it off than to break it over a block with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because breaking it, that pain is staying
True
for
enough,
a
I
long
guess.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, so they changed it to the sledgehammer. Oh yeah,
So she just in the book she chopped off one foot.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She chopped off his left foot, I believe, and then she also cuts off his thumb. And then
Why are you cutting off body parts? Why are we cutting off body parts?
and then she puts it on a birthday cake as a candle. Yeah, they should have kept that.
But what was the point?
He did something else, and so she chopped his thumb off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, there was a state trooper who had came looking for Paul, kind of like the sheriff. So she stabs the guy, and then runs him over with a lawnmower.
What?
And they actually shot that scene, but deleted it because the director thought it was too silly, and thought like the audience wouldn't take
Like
it
a
seriously.
riding lawnmower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would have felt like that would have been over the top.
Yeah, that's more of a like a horror movie type.
I was
of
gonna
thing.
say
Yeah.
like a
yeah,
bum house
yeah.
horror movie.
So yeah, so they shot it and took it out. And then one last thing at the end where he threatened her, it's like, I'm gonna burn this book or whatever, and you'll never get Misery's return. He actually ends up burning like just regular old paper and not the book. He keeps the book and actually published it, and it became a bestseller.
Okay. Because I think I missed this at the end. What book was published?
He wrote a completely new book, so he didn't publish Misery Return or his untitled book. The book
Okay.
he published was a completely new book.
Okay,
Yeah.
at the end of the movie. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So that was it. That was the major differences. I have 2 nitpicks.
Okay.
Number 1, she says she followed him from the hotel, except for we see his car, and there's no car following him.
True. If it was a
It was-
blizzard,
it
you're
was-
gonna have to follow pretty close.
It was one of those detective following someone, which I don't understand how you follow someone so far away. and
No,
still figure
I
out
hate
the
in
time.
movies when people follow people and it's like, okay, they don't know you're following
Yeah,
them.
where it's like it's super obvious. Yeah.
Like, you're
Right, every
definitely
time
following
they
them.
pull off, you pull off. They park, you park.
Yeah.
Right, when me and someone's going in the same direction for like a couple of blocks, I'd be like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing? You following me? I'm
You
gonna turn
notice it.
somewhere else now."
And then my last one, we started to talk about it a little bit. I don't understand how she's not in prison
Yeah, for killing all the babies.
for killing all of the babies, and then also it
Yeah,
sounds
because it
like
doesn't explain on how she got off.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then it also sounded like she was also killing elderly people too.
Mhm.
Clearly, she killed her husband, I think, and her father.
Maybe, yeah,
Mm,
maybe she
yeah.
got off on her husband and father, but like, I'm
The
like,
babies and old people. No.
Yeah.
how'd you get away with, and why were you killing babies, Anne? Why were you killing babies?
Who
What's
knows?
wrong with
You cannot have that many deaths surrounding you and you not be in jail right now.
That's true. But okay, she's not. Yeah, that's the biggest nitpick I had. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
why is she not in prison?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That, and I felt like the whole town would be leery of her.
Yes, but maybe that's why she was somewhere secluded.
Yeah,
And
but then
kept
she
to
was still
herself.
going to the store, all blah blah blah. Like I'd be like, yo, we'll deliver your stuff. We'll set at the end of the
Well, I
driveway.
mean,
Don't
the
be
town
coming up in
people
here.
Didn't know all that.
As soon as someone go missing in our town, I'm checking her house.
Exactly.
I don't think that's. But see, that's the whole point of moving to a small town.
You
they
don't think
don't know.
none of them knew her backstory?
No,
I guess the internet didn't exist.
it did not.
Yeah, that's true.
It did not.
Maybe that's another thing where our discussion could have happened
Because
today.
remember, the sheriff had to look up that information. He went
That's
to the
right. He went to the library.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about that.
Flipping through old newspapers.
Wow. Surprised he didn't break out the microfiche.
Gosh. Oh my goodness. But no, yeah, I hate Annie, and she's horrible, and she's the worst. No, I don't like those manipulative people that's like, oh, you know, I'm doing all this for you, and when like, no, you're the crazy one, go somewhere. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, well, that was my last nitpick. There's not a lot of fault with this movie, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
Like they didn't leave any gaping holes.
No,
Well, Stephen King's a pretty good writer.
he is.
That's true. Because when we did Cujo, there wasn't. I mean, I thought the lady did some stupid stuff, but
She did.
that could
But,
have just
I
been
mean,
in the heat
that's
of the
why
moment.
the
Yeah.
boy died in the book.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I just it's a good movie if you haven't seen it. We definitely spoiled it all, so sorry.
Oh, well, okay.
It's still.
If you haven't
worth watching.
seen this 33 or 32
Well, there's a
year old
lot of
movie-
people that haven't seen it. You haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Oh, well, why are you listening to the podcast about Misery anyway? Then
I'm just saying, like, how would you feel if I told you the Sledgehammer was coming?
I don't know. My wife told me about him being in the basement, and I was all the way at the end. I was like, you mentioned it like it was going to be before. But,
So she's seen it.
yeah.
Okay.
How? Seriously?
What?
She's seen it and you haven't?
I don't understand. Like, y'all, were y'all just watching movies all the time?
When they say it's a classic, and I'm like, well, I want to
Sorry,
see it.
I played outside or something. I don't
No,
know.
and I'm like, when I heard this movie was a classic, I'm like, oh, I want to see it. So when I saw it on TV, I watched it because I heard about it.
Oh, well, okay. I guess
I mean, it's not like I watched it in 1990.
Right. Yeah, I was a teenager when I seen it.
I was an adult. It was only 5 years ago, so I seen it for the first time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, was it on a streaming service?
Probably. Isn't everything?
Okay,
I
well,
think
I
I've seen
barely
it.
watched Netflix.
I think I seen it on TV. It might have been on BBC America.
Oh, so you saw the edited version?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't see the ankle wrap.
No, I did not. Just
Ah.
saw the slug hammer. Yeah, I think it was on BBC.
Yeah, oh, they probably edit out old boy's Buster chest hole.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel so bad for his wife.
Yeah. I think that hit me the most.
Man, he was good person, man, diligent and everything.
I know.
Shoot him.
It seems so
See,
nice.
this is another reason to hate Annie. Talk about like she's bad, but you don't hate her about this movie. Yes, you do. She
Okay.
kidnapped him for no reason, and then yelling at him about his book because it's not the way she wants. See, that's a commentary on fans.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is.
This wasn't the way I wanted it to be. It's horrible.
I mean, it's kind of like what the internet is now, right? If your YouTube
Yeah,
channel doesn't do
true.
with someone, I'm gonna unsubscribe. How dare you do this and this and this, or this person do this? I'm never gonna watch your stuff again.
So the internet is Annie.
The internet is Annie.
You know what?
Yeah.
Collectively, you would get kidnapped by it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess we rate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man. I'm torn.
I'm gonna do. I'll pay for that, 'cause especially if you haven't seen it before. I think it's a must watch if you haven't seen it before.
Okay.
I was gonna get it. It's probably up there as greatest movie of all time. Because I would definitely rewatch it. I would rewatch it. I honestly, watching the movie make me want to read the book. Like I'm probably gonna read the book.
You should. The book is a lot more intense, a lot more.
Well, yeah. Of course, it's a Stephen King book. Of course it is.
Yes. But
Yeah.
yeah, I will say like yeah, because and the reason why I give it that rating is there's nothing about this movie that I disliked.
True.
Like I have no problems with this movie.
True. I mean, that's a very good point. Like, I don't think this movie has any flaws. I think it serves its purpose as a thriller and a suspense film. It does that very well. I think movies today should take some notes from how they did it. And there's no wasted space either.
Yeah, and it's like you can have a suspenseful movie that's kind of graphic but not over the top. I didn't feel like nothing was done over the top.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if this was a redo,
Yeah.
like it would have been over the top.
If this was a redo, that lawnmower scene would have been in it.
The lawnmower scene would have been it. Yeah, the axe scene of his foot getting chopped off would have been in it.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it would have been over the top.
Yeah.
So I feel like it fits.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll give it best movie ever. Then I was kind of torn between it's a good movie, so I'll do it. I'll go ahead and give it that, which I guess that's our rating for 3D Rivals best movie ever for Misery.
Yeah.
um,
Did this movie take a lot out of you?
I think it took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
no, I enjoyed watching it. Just like, forget you, Eddie. I would have hit her in the head again. Yeah. So, okay. All right. That's our review of Misery. We don't give a lot of movies.
We
that
don't.
rating. Yeah.
Very few movies have that.
So, yeah, it's a pretty good one.
I will say this is 2 weeks in a row, though.
Did we? We didn't give that for GoldenEye.
I said it.
Oh, okay. Well, GoldenEye didn't go up yet. So,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
Oh,
you gotta
okay. We
put
did
up
not
GoldenEye
review
first.
GoldenEye.
Oh.
No, he can do it out of order. It doesn't matter.
so, yeah. See, now you threw me off.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyhow, yes, that's our review of Misery. But if you don't want to go through any misery, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to our channel so you can get some more of our movie reviews, which is top tier. So make sure you guys do that. If you're listening to it in any podcast form, which is anywhere you get your podcast, make sure you leave a rating and review as well. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching and listening. I will catch you next time.